Hey guys, welcome back to Sarcastic Remarks. It's been a while. We're back with the boys here, along with James and Chris. My name is Ryan. Go and check out DraftKings Sportsbook, our official sponsor for this podcast and all of THPN. Use that promo code THPN next time you are there. Gentlemen, it's been a little bit of a nice little break to kind of just chill out for a little bit on the podcast side and on the hockey side. And we're kind of ready to get into it. We know what the all-star rosters look like. We got a lot of questions to talk about with the stars, and we got lots more other things going on as well. How are y'all doing today?
It's hockey time already. I'm already tired of it. We've been on break for a whole, what, 4 days? That's too long.
That's really long for us. We don't normally go that long.
We need more hockey games. So we're back on the pod today. Friday, I'm watching the Texas Stars. Gonna go see me some Stanky and some Borky. That'll be a good grand old time. And it's time to bring the hockey back. Enough of this break stuff. They've been on break long enough.
The crazy thing,
schedule. Hockey games tomorrow.
Crazy thing is we're not even halfway through the break yet. So
Man, I don't want to hear your negativity brought into this room. Okay,
we still don't play until the 6th. We have 5 days left, Chris.
I don't care.
Okay, well, 2 of those days are tomorrow and Saturday. Tomorrow is the Super Skills. Saturday is the All-Star game. I might actually watch it for once because I don't know. I didn't get a chance to watch the draft today, but from what I heard, it was okay. It wasn't the worst thing in the world, and they've done worse. Is what basically what I was getting from X. That was just the general idea of it.
Michael Bublé was there, so there was surely at least some smooth and succulent tones.
Well, they thought he was on some mushrooms apparently or something. So,
well, I sure hope so. If you're Michael Bublé, you gotta
right.
keep yourself going somehow.
Oh man, it was really that was probably like the highlight of the night, I guess, from the whole draft. But anyways, James, how are you doing?
I am alive. Still looking for a job. That's been going. Probably going to be looking for that for a while. But, you know. Yeah.
If anyone wants to hire a cybersecurity specialist, check out James right here. StarcastRemarks.com. Never hacked. Unhackable. Try it. Try it, hackers.
It's all James' fault. That is why it's
completely
unhackable.
Secure.
James, tell us what kind of things are in place to make sure that doesn't happen.
I have no clue because we do not own the site.
We do own the site.
We pay to own the site.
We own the
different than owning. It's different than owning the servers. So
shut up with your technical knowledge, James. It's ours.
Oh man, that's
all right. Hockey. Anyway.
Yes.
Greg Ottinger got drafted. No longer a Dallas Star. He's now a Bieber.
Yeah. He got drafted by the Toronto Maple Leafs All-Star team, aka the Bieber. Yeah, the Bieber squad. So I think he's who's the other goalie on that team? I already forgot. Is it Hellebuck?
Who cares?
I don't remember.
I don't.
But
I don't care.
Yeah, all I know is that he's with all the Toronto Maple Leafs with Morgan Riley, Matthews, and Marner, and Nylander actually, I think as well. But anyways, let's just jump into that for a second because it seems like this year he doesn't exactly deserve the accolades of being named an all-star, right? And there were a lot of people that were kind of complaining about that, but this at the same time, you could probably look at the Stars roster and be like, it's kind of like how the Seattle Kraken were last year. Like the Seattle Kraken were just a really good team, and they were deep with especially their top 3 lines with their scoring. It was very divided, and they didn't have like a true like superstar that stuck out from the crowd, right? So like last year for us, it was obviously Jason Robertson. He had over 100 points, and the next closest person had 78 or whatever it was. So maybe that's why Jake Ottinger got chosen this year because of the accolades from last year, and he should have been chosen last year. But I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it really doesn't matter all that much, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I disagree that it's like Seattle. I mean, Rope Hintz could have easily been the All-Star. It is probably one that everyone says is underrated and deserving of it. I think you could almost always do Miro Heiskanen, although this might not be his best year either. Matt Duchene, just purely for the comeback nature of his season so far. So I think there's a lot of options you could have gone with, but
That's probably
there's only one of them's going to get in ever. So they just kind of pick one. And yeah, he totally deserved it last year. Didn't get it. So they're like, yeah, he was good last year. We'll put him in.
well, and the goaltending across the Western Conference is a little iffy compared to the Eastern Conference. The Eastern Conference is much better.
And this selection just kind of further proves why no one really cares about the All-Star game anymore, because it's like we're not even voting for the players who are going in. We get random players from the bad teams that don't even deserve an All-Star, but there's someone there anyway. I mean, Jason Dickinson was almost an NHL All-Star this year. I mean, it's dumb.
But, at the same time, they've been arguing about this whole just bring the biggest names and don't even worry about what teams they're from.
Or don't even do a game. Just do the super skills competition. Or like next year, hopefully they do away with all of it and they just do that 4 countries thing. And that'll be a lot of fun. I'm for sure going to watch some of that if that goes on. But
no, it's
All-Star game, not going on. Not going to watch.
I think we're getting into that sphere of where the game is kind of pointless, but the super skills competition would be cool. I mean,
if they actually did the best players.
Right, exactly. And
like Connor McDavid not doing the fastest skater is stupid.
Well, that's like you that's the same with like Rope Hintz. Rope Hintz should be in that competition, right?
Yep.
And even like what's his name? I think his name was Michael Grabner, but like one of the fastest skaters I've ever seen. But he's
what they should do? They have those edge stats now, the advanced stats.
That's
program.
what I've been saying.
Take the top 4, stick them in the skills in the fastest skater. That's all you do. That's exciting. Take the 4 hardest shots of the year, stick them in the slap shot contest. That's way more fun. Instead, everybody's got to be in a little competition thingy, so we're gonna put this goalie in the fastest skater. Shut up. Who cares?
You know who would be in the hardest shot competition?
Nils Lundqvist.
It would
for the Stars.
Colin Miller. Colin
Miller got a faster one?
Yeah.
I thought Nilly got
he
a
hit 102.6, I think.
Yeah. It was he did that against us in the first game we played against him on his first shot. It was like 5 minutes in.
Guy's got a cannon. All right, moving on from the All-Star game.
How often did we say that how often did we say that last year? That like every time he took a shot, it never hit the net, but it was scary. Right? It was almost always a scary thing to behold. But okay. Anyways, I'm gonna watch the super skills in the game. But missing the net.
Yeah. Report back, Ryan. Let us know if you were entertained at all.
Yes. Well, we will see. Okay. I did want to throw this in here and get y'all's thoughts on it.
Throw it in.
Did y'all see the Elias Lindholm trade?
Yeah, that's some insanity right there.
Yeah, so for one guy who is on an expiring deal and does not have an extension in place with the Vancouver Canucks right now, they gave up, what was it, James, 5 or 6 assets? It was Andrei Kuzmenko, 5, okay. Andrei Kuzmenko. It was also basically the Adam Fox of the OHL right now. I think his name is Hunter or something, starts with a B. Really long, weird looking name. They also got a 1st-round pick, a 4th-round pick, and then there's one little asset that I'm forgetting about right now. But I mean, good on the Flames for getting that haul, because I definitely did not expect for them to get that much out of Elias Lindholm.
Yeah, that's an insane haul for Calgary. I mean, you basically got 3 prospects, 3 grade A prospects, and then another 4th-round pick, and then a D guy that could be some depth for you. But I mean, that's a crazy. There's no way Elias Lindholm is worth that much, and they better pray that he resigns, because my goodness, I mean, he's the second. He's going to Vancouver. He's going to be the 2nd line center.
Yes.
He's worth that much. That's crazy.
And I think they got a first round pick for him as well. Granted, it'll be like low first round because it's Vancouver's, but still, that's a first round pick, and those tend to work out pretty well.
It's a first and a conditional fourth. And like, to me, this is like 3 first rounders. I mean, Kuzmenko, apparently this defenseman that you were saying, Hunter, it's a B and an R. Burgess,
don't even try.
Everyone's saying he's really good, and he is lining up his junior league. So it feels like it's 3 first round picks for Elias Lindholm on an expiring contract. I mean, if that is the way that the trade market is going to be this season, no trades from the Stars. No trades are going to happen.
Yeah, there's not going to be any for big guys again this year. I mean, that we got Max Domi for like a second round pick, I think, last year, which was like a crazy steal because that was a sought after player. I mean, anyone would want a dude like that going into the playoffs, and we gave a second round pick, and that was it.
And Max Domi's better than Elias Lindholm. I mean, I know Elias Lindholm was on that line that did amazing 2 years ago, but that was 2 years ago, and he didn't really do much.
Well, and this year he's really had a rough season. He really has. But honestly, one of the reasons why Calgary got back so much was because Andrei Kuzmenko, yes, he's not a young person anymore. He's 28, I think 27. But he still had, I think it was 39 goals last year.
Yeah.
It's just this year it has just not worked out. He worked way better under Bruce Boudreau's system. And under the new head coach's system, it just doesn't work for him. He's been in and out of the lineup, been healthy scratched. And the big thing why it's such a big deal is because he's got a $5.5 million cap hit, and he was being healthy scratched. So that was something that Vancouver was trying to get rid of. So with Calgary, this could be a win-win situation where you take a bad contract from a team and he maybe works out for you in your top 6. So, I mean, Lindholm wasn't doing much better for them. So, I mean, why not? You're probably not going to be able to re-sign him. Why not take a chance on this guy who's a little bit younger and may be able to do as much or better than Elias Lindholm, plus all these other assets that are coming along with it. So,
and Kuzmenko maybe having a bad year this year. Tanev has had a bad last 2 years. So, I mean, that could have been a 1-for-1 as far as I'm concerned. Not really, but it doesn't seem like Lindholm is anywhere near that much.
Now, here's the thing that's really interesting. And basically what I took from this trade for Vancouver's side is that they're all in. Like they're
Obviously.
at the poker table. They've put all their chips in right now. And giving up some draft picks, which, they said they weren't going to do, but they also didn't know this team was going to be this good. I mean, let's be honest. Nobody saw that. And now they're saying, okay, we're trying to fix our situation there at the second line center role. And they're kind of giving some signals to the rest of the team that this is it. I mean, we went out and got you a lot of help. Here he is. Go get it. Go get the cup.
And Vancouver's the king at making these type of moves. I mean, there you go, all in every single chance they get. And they finally got a kind of decent team, and they're like, all right, cup or bust this year. They're crazy.
Well, I mean, not really. But I mean, considering how up and down they've been, why not go all in for it right now?
I mean, I just feel like, what was it, like 2 years ago when they got who was it? Oliver Ekman-Larsson?
I think it was several more than that, I think.
But that year, that was thought of as like, oh, that's the home run swing right there. That big trade. They're not going to rebuild. They're going to get back in, and then it didn't work. And
that's what they thought. Everyone else didn't see that, but that's what Vancouver thought. They thought that OEL was.
That's what I'm saying. They're always making these massive trades. It feels like, and it seems like they don't normally work out. So
I really feel like this trade is much a bigger deal for the Flames than anyone else. I mean, they have obviously been struggling, and it's obvious that they were leaning heavily on that first line, who is now just completely gone 2 years ago, and they've just never have been able to get back to the same form. and they've changed the coach. Still pretty much same story. Goaltending's at least come back a little bit for them, but they gotta find new talent because 2 of their 3 best players went somewhere else.
So it's kind of early to declare a winner, but
Calgary.
Really?
Calgary.
Yes.
Calgary.
I think even if like the Canucks go off and they win a cup, this is still a better deal for Calgary than it would be for Vancouver.
Especially considering where they are, because Calgary, like, there's nothing to save anymore. I mean, they did it. I thought they did a great job considering that they were going to lose Tkachuk and they were going to lose Gaudreau. They did a good job of trying to gather everything that they could, and it failed. And okay, it failed. Pack it up. Let's get as much as we can. And you got that deal for Elias Lindholm, who hasn't played good for you for 2 years. Great. Take it.
That's true. That's a good point.
Next is Hubie.
Yeah, he's not getting traded. Not at 10.5 for 7 more years, and he's doing worse than Lindholm is. They're not a chance now.
That's true. When he's doing this bad, that's true.
I feel like
maybe.
I feel like some of maybe Kuzmenko comes in and helps Huberdeau though. I mean,
right? Exactly.
It is a different. They've gotten rid of everyone in their old system essentially who is playing that Calgary has. Sorry, they got rid of everyone who is playing that defensive style and then rush and go score a goal. They're all gone now. You don't have any of them left. You have the lower lines still there. They still have that thought in them, but that's not what you need from your first line in the NHL anymore. You need them to score goals, and maybe getting someone else other than Lindholm on your first line will help that out.
Well, and what's also really interesting for the Calgary Flames is like they sold without fully selling, if that makes any sense. They're still sort of kind of in the playoff race, so they could maybe slide into the playoffs somehow. And they got that haul, Kuzmenko, who could maybe score a whole bunch of goals for them. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it goes from there. But anyways, I just thought it was a really interesting trade because I think this is the first domino that falls. Remember last year, the Horvat deal happened literally at this exact same time, and it was just everything kind of fell into place. It was a lot of fun. It was. There was a whole bunch of trades. Now we haven't seen that yet, but
I feel like it might be a little different this year though, because last year there was a lot of these teams are in the playoff, and that is not what we see this year. There's
probably a lot more
unknowns.
Teams that are going to stay and see if they can push up a little bit higher.
There's going to be a lot less sellers.
Agreed.
Okay. All right. Moving on from that, I want to discuss one more thing. We're getting into our Dallas Stars stuff before we really dig down into this team. For those of you that did not see the Spits and Suds podcast, they just did an interview with former Dallas Stars player, but now the director of amateurs. Player development. Sorry. Thank you. Director of player development, Rich Peverly. For those of you who do not remember the situation, I believe it was back in 2007 or 2008. He had a very unfortunate incident which ended his career.
Event.
That's a very nice way of putting it, Chris. And he literally had to be revived in underneath the bleachers at the American Airlines Center. And he kind of took a role with the Dallas Stars organization after that. And he started making his way up the ranks, and now he's the director of player development. And Gavin Spittle did an excellent interview with it. And I just wanted to kind of discuss a couple of things about that because there was one thing in particular that was really interesting to me. But what did y'all get out of that interview? Because it was like a 50-minute interview, and there's so many little snippets that you could take out of that. What did y'all see out of that?
Yeah, for me, it's that the organization really is, it does believe in like the process of like letting players go to the minors, letting them develop a different skill kind of each year, getting their faceoffs down, getting their defensive game in as if you're Harley, and really letting them season. They trust their development process, and they think that it serves them best. It serves them best, and they have examples to prove it. I mean, they've got Rope Hintz, they've got Jake Ottinger, they've got Jason Robertson. They've got lots of examples of how their process has worked very well. And the other thing I kind of want to mention, though, is that they're not stuck to it either. I mean, the past couple of years, we've seen Miro Heiskanen. He's put right up in there. I mean, he's a different kind of player. You put him right in. Same thing with Wyatt Johnston. I mean, they saw it was something like he's ready now. There was nothing we could teach him in the minors. Put him in now, and they did. So I think it's shown that it's put more. I'm able to put more of my faith in them because of their success, and even just hearing Peverly talk about it, they are very confident in their process of developing players.
James, what did you think of anything from that interview?
Really the only other thing that I thought of is that like how nice the Stars organization seems to be. I mean, we talk about the players love to play here, but hearing it from Peverly, I mean, he's part of the system as a whole, and he enjoys it there too. So just everyone, it's a good place to be.
Good place to work, good place to play, good place to hockey.
The most interesting thing to me was how he talked about the NCAA, because, you know, it used to be that like the only way you could get into the NHL was either you were in juniors over in Europe or you were in the junior leagues in Canada. And that was like the only way and the best way to get into the NHL. And the way that he talked about the NCAA was actually very interesting, because he said that, and maybe I'm taking this the wrong way, but this is just how I felt about it, that he thought that the NCAA is actually a better way to get yourself ready to be a pro compared to the Canadian juniors now, because it's just a different game in the Canadian juniors compared to the NCAA. You're playing against bigger players. They're more rugged, more physical. The hockey is very different. It's extremely high energy. And I just was very, very, very surprised to hear him say that.
I think the way he mentioned it was the speed of the NCAA is just faster than the juniors is. I mean, he seems to he points out that like the game is just faster that way. And you see the juniors, and then he talked about going from the college level to the AHL level. That was part of his career talk that he did. And he said that was a faster level. And then he said even AHL playoffs is a faster level. He talks about just every time moving up, it's just it is quicker. The game is quicker and quicker and quicker.
Yeah. And the NCAA has gotten really exciting. I mean, at the end of college season, there's it's after the trade deadline. Everyone's like, oh, where's this college kid going to go who wasn't drafted, who's able to be signed? And that's always exciting. So I think that'd be a lot of fun. I think the NCAA has a lot. It's definitely quicker, like James said, and it's rougher, I feel like, so there's less ice to play with. So I feel like juniors is still the way to go to if you want to like develop just crazy skill, kind of like Wyatt Johnston, Connor McDavid stuff. Like if you have that kind of stuff, you want some more ice to be able to showcase that off. But you're kind of grinders, you're more rough and tumble guys. I think they can learn that better in the NCAA, and they can show it off more in that league as well. But I think it's a ton of fun at the end of the season, just seeing there's 4 new hockey players in the league after the trade deadline, and adding them to playoff teams is always just really exciting. It's a lot of fun.
Well, like Adam Fantilli was there playing in the NCAA just this past year, before the, and so, I mean, he was lighting it up like crazy. So seriously, I just thought that was the most interesting thing just from a hockey standpoint. But seriously, go for all those of you that are listening, go and check out that interview. It was really, 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 really cool. It was very neat. And I remember doing the episode with Gavin on for his podcast, and he mentioned that he was going to be doing that interview, and I kind of gasped a little bit. I was like, oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. I love Rich Beverly. Okay. All right, guys. Anyways, let's move on and let's talk about the state of the union of the Dallas Stars and kind of look into just some big storylines. And we'll pull the gym nail, and we'll see if we like where the team is at. So, Chris, you want to go ahead and ask your first question? You had a lot of questions you wanted to ask.
Well, first, state of the union. Let's get some facts straight first, numbers wise. Your Dallas Stars are second place in the Central Division. They have 66 points. They are second behind Colorado, who has 67, and are above Winnipeg, who has 65. Neck and neck. I mean, that's as close as it gets in any division in the NHL right now. And we are far above number 4, who is Seattle at 54. So it's a 3-headed horse race right there. That's a very vague reference. Moving on, the Stars also sit 5th in the league, which is kind of crazy being second in your division. You're 5th in the league. That's pretty dang good division right there. They have, how many points are they behind Vancouver? They are 5 points behind Vancouver right now for the President's Trophy race. That's pretty dang good, I'd say. What else? Stats. That's what I wanted to look at. So I'm going to get some stats here real quick. I wanted to see the goals for stat, and it's not coming up. So someone else needs to say something.
I think we're like 20th in the league in goals against, and goals for, I think we're 3rd.
Which is crazy. Do y'all remember 4 years ago? That's weird. But
that's absolutely
our offense has been fantastic. Our defense has not been fantastic. It's actually been subpar. And James has some reasons why that might not be true. Go ahead, James.
That's what is kind of a problem so far this year. I mean, you look at our goals against expected. Okay, I'm going to go advanced stats because it's whatever. I compared them to last year too, and they kind of made sense. So last year, expected goals against, we were 2nd overall in the league. And in actual goals against, we finished 5th. This year in goals against, we are 5th right now.
For expected goals against.
For expected goals against. And in actual goals against, we are 20th. So there's there's one or two things that you can say this is because of. You can say this is because the goaltending has been worse. Or you could say the chances they are getting have been better. So we're giving up worse chances against, or the goaltending has been worse.
And I think you're going to have to give it a little bit of both. It's kind of what I think I'm going to land on there.
I feel like a lot more of it is we haven't seen the best goaltending. And we have had rough defense. I mean, we have Harley and we have Nils on the team, which they're both doing. Harley's doing great, way beyond what we expected him to do. And Nils has struggled as we kind of expected a little. And you have some problems there and some problems with slot shots. But overall, the amount of chances we're giving up should not take us all the way down to 20th against.
Yeah. And if you look at the goalie stats, they would point you straight to the goal attending being the issue. Obviously, you can just go save percentage and goals against average, which is much worse than it has been for any season Jake Ottinger has been here. You can also look at other advanced analytics, expected goals or expected saves. He's way below what his expected saves number is. Quality starts, which is a start above 900 save percentage, way below. We're probably dang near dead last on that one, because we do not get very many games with above 900 save percentage, because we're not giving up very many shots recently either.
And the save percentage for both Otter and Wedgwood are sitting at 900 right now. So it's okay, they're saving some, and the Stars are just scoring crazy amounts, which is really what's been covering up a lot of the stuff this year. But the goaltending needs to catch up a little bit. It is tougher because the chances are better. We are giving up more slot shots than we did last year. And we've shut that down in some games, but that doesn't seem to solve the problem in those games. We still end up with 4 goals against.
And for me, I kind of want to talk more about the slot shots, because goaltending, we know that's an issue. He's not been as good, but there's no real solution to that other than Otter plays better, because we're not giving up on Otter because he's having a slightly rough season. He's still our all-star. I mean, he's been very good. He's been injured this year. We're not going to give up on Otter. Otter's the guy. That's it. He has to play better. That's the talking point. The slot shots is definitely something you could talk about a little bit more, because it seems like even when the Stars are playing good defense, there's one terrible play that turns into a grade A scoring chance. And it can even come completely out of the blue. And that's what's been really frustrating, because we can be playing great defense and still give up a wonderful chance. It's not consistent.
Is it just individual mistakes that you're seeing from defensemen in particular? And
that's what I'm thinking
that's really the biggest thing?
That's what it is for me. I mean, turnovers by Suter, Hakanpää, Lindell, even Lundqvist when he's playing bad. I mean, they happen at horrible times. Like, it's not very often that we get just a casual turnover that's nothing dangerous just in the neutral zone. When we turn over the puck, we turn over the puck. And it's flying back the other direction, or it's one pass and it's right in front of our net and it's a shot. So
yeah, and I feel like a lot of that is just part of the system that we're still learning. I mean, if you get caught at a bad time when the offensive, when your forwards are cycling down deep, you get caught up top, they're getting an odd man chance the other way. Like every single time, you have to have heightened awareness in that time to know that you cannot turn over the puck right now.
And I think you put our defensemen with their exceptional puck handling skills under that kind of pressure and they break.
Definitely.
So the thing that I'm still frustrated about, and I know we give so much crap to the defense and everything like that for the turnovers, and rightly we should. We absolutely should. But I really don't think they have been playing as bad as we think they have. I went back and I looked at some of the metrics and some of the way that other teams felt. And I talked to some of these other top teams and the little podcasts that kind of cover them. And it's kind of the same feeling that we have. Like they have their own Suter who the fan base just for some reason does not like and just constantly turns the puck over and is just slow. They have somebody also like Hakanpää who takes really dumb penalties sometimes and doesn't bother to skate hard to get where he needs to be. So I'm wondering if this is just a feeling across the league, and that's just the way the NHL is now. It's just you capitalize on your scoring chances. So the thing that is on my mind the biggest right now is Jake Ottinger. I think that is the thing that needs to be fixed more than anything, because it is a lot easier to be able to fix one person in net than it is an entire decor right now. And even if we go out and we get a top, a second pairing guy like a Chris Tanev or like a Sean Walker, like someone was mentioning, is it really gonna fix the defense?
I think that would do a lot to help the defense. The reason I talk more about the defense is because there's actually something that can be done there. I mean, Jake Ottinger is going to get the same amount of starts now that he was going to get before. He's not going to play anymore. He's not going to play any less. I mean, he's our guy, and he's going to be the guy pretty much no matter what happens. So the area where you can help out, I think, is the defense. You can play a little bit differently, make just better passes. I mean, it feels sometimes it's more like laziness and thoughtlessness than it is even inability.
And sometimes it's also trying to rush up the ice before you handle it in your own zone. I mean, we've seen multiple times, especially was the case in the Flyers game that we looked so bad in. We were trying to break up the ice before getting it out of our zone. And in times where there's 3 forecheckers on your defenseman, you got to come back and handle it in your own zone and get it out first. And sometimes that needs to be the priority. And this year it hasn't been. And I understand it's a different system. It's still getting the puck out of your own zone has to be the top priority.
And here's kind of what was a talking point when DeBoer came in as coach. I mean, we knew he was going to be more of an offensive-minded guy, and that's what we wanted. We were coming off Bonus, who plays lockdown hockey and is still playing lockdown hockey for the Jets, and it's working. And we wanted not that. We wanted to use our forward depth that we knew we had, and we wanted to go score goals. And we've seen DeBoer teams shoot a lot, they score a lot, and they can kind of be leaky on defense at times. And maybe this is just the progression. Year after year, we get away from Bonus. The defense gets worse and worse. The offense gets better and better. And maybe this is just the way we play now, and we kind of got to accept it.
Nah.
No. Okay.
No.
Yeah.
I really think that it is still there on this team because they have nights where the other team only gets 20 shots. I mean, we've seen it multiple times before. The other team comes in, gets 20 shots. There was one Canucks game that the Canucks got 20 shots and had 4 goals. At some point, you can't blame the defense anymore, and it's not the defense's fault. And you need to get a save or two from your goaltender.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I'll kind of wrap up this segment here. I think a lot of it is goaltending. I'll say 65% is on goaltending for how poor our goals against number is. But there's not much we can do about it. Otter's got to play better. We know that. Otter knows that. But defense, I feel like there's more we can do. A big trade, I think, is massive. Not even just for the defense. I think a big trade for a confident puck-moving defenseman in your own zone is big for offense even, too. Just to get moving when it can unlock maybe that Jamie Benn Pavelski line even a little bit more whenever they don't have to try and get their outlet passes from Lindell and Hakanpää. I think that would help them out a lot. So really, I'm looking for a big trade there. You got to find a way to make something like that happen. That's a GM of the year move. I mean, that's what we got. We got a GM of the year. So that's what we should expect. GM of the year stuff. Give it to me, Nil. And yeah, we just got to trust that Otter's going to be better. And I think he will.
Okay. Let's get into, this is my biggest frustration of the year, you guys. And I've been talking about it specifically for a long time. At the beginning of this season, this team had a lot of expectations on them, and they had a lot of expectations, not from us, but from just the national media in general too. There are lots of people at the beginning of the season that were picking the Stars to either make the Stanley Cup final or win the whole dang thing, to win the Stanley Cup. They really were. And it's the first time in a long time that that's kind of been said about the Dallas Stars. It's been a while. But the thing we've been talking about a lot is the fact that this team, and like you said, Chris, we're second in the division right now, third if you look at points percentage. We're top 5 in the NHL when it comes to points and looking at our record. But there's been so many things that we have been so frustrated about because we feel like this team is stuck in their third gear or their fourth gear, and they're driving a 6-speed car. Like, Jim Nill has full control of this car. He's built it up to where it's a 6-speed, maybe even a 7-speed. And we have still not seen them play their best hockey. So, I mean, is that something that we should be concerned about moving forward? Or maybe the new line combos that we have a new first line with Wyatt Johnston up there. We're finally starting to see Miro and Thomas Harley play together. Is that going to finally maybe get that gear going where that engine can really start moving? And then maybe we be viewed as like a true, juggernaut and like not just like just a good playoff contender.
Yeah, the problem is this team hasn't gone on a win streak, really. I mean, we've consistently picked up points, but like we're on a 3-game win streak right now. That's kind of as long as it's gotten. And we haven't gotten into a good rhythm like that. We're consistently picking up points, but it's not win after win after win after win like Edmonton is getting. The way Edmonton's playing in these win streaks is like they're the best team ever. And the Stars haven't been on a run like that. They're finding a way to get points, finding ways to win games, but I agree they're not doing it to the best of their ability. My problem is I think you can change the forward lines as much as you want, but that's not the problem. We're scoring goals. We're scoring a heck of a lot of goals. We're scoring more goals than we've scored since 2016.
But see, they're doing it even better than they were. The offense is figuring it out. Like Wyatt Johnston was not doing very well, and he was kind of sputtering. And we saw that he was getting all these chances, especially James. James was talking about it, and it was like constantly just missing the net or whatever. You throw him with 2 skill guys like Hintz and Robo, and all of a sudden he's able to score a point a game. So I mean,
we can get better at our strength. And it's kind of like the Edmonton way to do it is like, well, let's just make our strength so strong that it doesn't matter how weak our goaltending is. But as you've seen, since Edmonton got good, all they needed was a little bit of help on their weakness. Get a little bit of goaltending, and look where they are. So get a little bit more help on that back end. Get a little bit of goaltending. We have the goalie. This is the goalie. get a little bit of help on the defensive end. Pick up a blue liner. I mean, get one of our depth guys out. Put Stankoven in with the trade. Get a blue liner in here. It looks so different, I feel like. Just a little bit of help on your weaknesses, I feel like, can be a bigger difference than getting even better at your strength would be.
I mean, you can only get so much better at offense. Just fun stat. Out of the last 5 games we've played, we've scored 5 or more goals in 4 of them.
That's crazy.
And that is a normal thing for this Stars team this year.
That's a lot of hockey goals.
We are scoring 4 or 5 goals almost every single night.
We average over 4 goals a game. That is our average.
That's and we're average.
Yeah, and we're giving up more than 3 goals a game now too.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Just because this is sort of kind of on the topic, but it makes me mad. For real, Motto, not a peep, and Colorado gets all the love being 1 point ahead of us. Like, seriously. Okay, it's like, I understand that, like, Colorado has all these superstars.
And Kyle McCarr.
Okay.
Those guys are kind of cool. I mean.
Okay, they have one line that plays 30 minutes, and, like, no joke, plays 30 minutes a night when you take McKinnon, Rantanen, whoever plays with them, McCarr, and Devon Taves. Like, those guys play, like, 22 plus minutes, and everyone else plays, like, 15 or less.
Yeah.
And it hacks me off considering that the Stars have a way deeper team. Their third line is way better than our third line. Our third line is way better than their third line. It's not even close. And it's just
their fourth line is our fourth line from last year.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, like what is it? Olofsson, Kiviranta, and whoever else that goes with them.
Whoever else they want their own.
Riley Tufte, if he gets called up, I guess.
Yeah, but they have one line, one really good D pair, and they're still beating us in the standings. So just should throw that out there. I agree. When we get to the playoffs, I feel like playing that line 30 minutes a night is not going to really be sustainable over a 7-game series, but it's working for them right now, and they're fun to watch. And they're beating us.
Yeah, but right now they are. They absolutely are. So, okay. Anything else y'all wanted to talk about, just about where they are? Because there's one more thing I want to do before we start doing our Who Cares segment.
No, but I think I wrapped mine up pretty good. I want to see a defenseman come in, and I would even be fine. I kind of mentioned this in passing. You can give up a depth guy. I love our fourth line. I think our fourth line is great. I think Delhi's great. Those 4 guys at the bottom of our lineup, I think fit perfectly. But if you're going to move one of them to get a really solid blue line, if you get a Tanev, and all you got to do is get rid of one of them and a first-round pick, and you don't even have to give up your big 3 prospects, you absolutely have to do it, because then you could bring up Bork or Stankoven, and they can slot right in, I feel like. And yeah, it might shake up your fourth line a little bit, even in a bad way. And I think that's a risk you are willing to take because of how impactful I think one more confident D guy would be on this team. So I'm calling to not be afraid to mess with what's working and to insert a good defenseman despite the cost it might take.
That's kind of the crazy thing for me too, is like we have shaken up this team a lot this year. We have tried lots of different things, and it feels like most of them have been working. I mean, the first line is new. Now Pavelski's off the first line. Johnston slotted in there. The fourth line is completely different.
Our top pair is completely different.
Everyone has moved. Like, someone has gotten somewhere else in the lineup since last year this time. It is a different team. They play the same, they play hard, they score a lot more goals this year, but it is mostly a different look for this team.
Yeah. I just don't want them to be afraid to mess it up, because there's obviously a step that needs to be taken.
All right. Last thing I want to get into, and then we'll get into Who Cares segment. And it's early to do this, but we need to look forward to the off season, because there's a lot of questions that need to be asked about, what we do. because it especially on the offensive side, it is going to be a very, very, very hard decision for Jim Nill coming up here in the offseason. So when you take a look at capfriendly.com, you take a look at the unrestricted free agents and the restricted free agents that this team has. So going forward, obviously Joe Pavelski is a UFA, as is Matt Duchene and Craig Smith. Then you've got RFAs in Dellandrea and Sam Steele on the forward side. For D-Men, Hakanpää is a unrestricted free agent. And then we also need to re-sign Thomas Harley and Nils Lundqvist. They're restricted free agents. So, I mean, moving forward, and also Scott Wedgwood is due for a deal as well. So I don't know how that's going to work. I mean, there are so many stinking questions to be asked about that, because, I mean, the obvious thing you could look at is to say, let Pavelski walk, which really, really sucks. and then you've also got Matt Duchene as well, who has been absolutely pivotal for this team this year. And the reason why it's may look like both of those guys may leave is because you've got two guys, Chris, that you just mentioned, and Logan Stankoven and Maverick Bork, who are calling for top 9 minute roles. I mean, they're literally
they're top
number
6,
1.
1,000%.
Well, I'm just saying top 9 because just Wyatt Johnson was top 9, but like they're literally 1 and 2 in AHL scoring right now.
On the same line.
1 and 2. So you need to give them roles in the NHL, and then that saves you cap space to be able to go out and figure out your blue line. So, like, even if you go out and you get a deadline rental guy like a Chris Tanev or something like that. So what I know there's so much you could look at that real quick, but what's just like something that really, really sticks out to you out of all of those free agents moving forward going into the offseason?
Kind of the weird one is Joe Pavelski, because I'm sure he hasn't re-signed because he doesn't know what he's going to do. I mean, if he wins a cup, he's going to retire. That's obvious. We don't know is he going to retire anyway this year? We don't know. Joe Pavelski probably doesn't know that either. He's probably just playing hockey. He's going to see what happens when it happens. But I feel like you have to try and re-sign one of Duchene or Pavelski. That's 3 and 4 in point totals on your team. Obviously, Duchene's going to be a lot more expensive than Pavelski would be. Pavelski would probably be around $3 million a year, on top of the cap hits that's going to hit next season due to his bonuses from this season, with his 10, 20, and 30 game played bonuses. So I feel like you try and re-sign one of those two. You re-sign pretty much all RFAs, maybe not Lundqvist. That makes me so sad. And I think when Hakanpää is gone, you either sign a depth defenseman, because I feel like most bottom pair guys could replace Hakanpää in the NHL, or maybe it's time for Bichsel to come up and you bring up Bork, Stankoven, and Bichsel all in the same year, and that could be huge. So I'm honestly not super upset with where we're at looking at the offseason. It'll just be interesting to see what happens this year, because that'll determine what happens with Pavelski. We'll see if Duchene actually likes Texas, if he likes it enough to take a $3 million pay cut, which I doubt he likes it that much. And it'll be to see how cheap we can get our RFAs to re-sign as well.
Yeah, I think a lot of it hinges on postseason results. I feel like pretty much all of it it's going to come down to how we do in the postseason.
Agreed.
So just some thoughts from the comment section over here. Pray to God that Pavs takes a discount if we don't win a cup. I think he really does, and he's already done that. He's done that twice now. His original cap hit was what, $7 million for 3 years, and they went down to 5.5, and now he's down to 3.5. Now I know there's bonuses in that, obviously, but I mean, he's on a third line role now, and if that sticks, obviously the asking price for him is probably going to go down there as well. But the thing is not necessarily the money. It's who do you want for a roster spot? Do you want Logan Stankoven or do you want Joe Pavelski? And That is really
That's not
hard
a question.
because
You want Joe Pavelski. He has 43 points in the NHL so far this year. He's number 4 on our team, and he's 39 years old. You want Joe Pavelski because Logan Stankoven's going to be there. And if Joe Pavelski breaks, then you put in Logan Stankoven. If it's not a money thing, which is the dumbest thing I think you've ever said on this podcast, Ryan, it's 100% a money thing. Then obviously you re-sign both of those guys, but you're not going to be able to. I think you're going to be lucky if you can re-sign one of them. And Pavelski might not even be playing hockey next year. We don't know. Pavelski doesn't know. We'll find out.
I as well hope, Monto, that they re-sign Dutchy.
He's just gonna be so expensive. I feel like he easily gets $7 million next year.
I don't know about
right
that.
Right now he does.
Or maybe right now, but I don't know. I see more also 5.56.
Cap's going up again.
And you're talking about free agency. I mean, people pay a lot for players in free agency.
And it's a guy who drugged 2 players out of bad years last year. I mean, that's definitely something to consider too. He brought Sagan and Marchment, and they are both having career years right now because of Duchesne being on their line. So I really think he's going for at least 7 and could go to 9.5.
It really depends on the team he's going to. I mean, I could see him going to a Arizona Coyotes team and getting paid pretty well there to play top line minutes.
I honestly think, guys, that the most important thing to him is location, because he was in Nashville and he really enjoyed being there. He said the atmosphere and the culture there, what he really enjoyed. And I don't think it's a coincidence that he came to Texas. I mean, let's be honest. Texas and Tennessee have very similar feels. The people are very similar and stuff like that. So I think he might be willing to take a hometown discount in order to be able to stay with the Dallas Stars. Now, it just really depends on, again, the roster spot and how much it's going to cost. So
I hope so. And another thing that kind of helps that argument is that other players already have. I mean, Roope Hintz could be making a lot more money probably. I think Jason Robertson, if he wasn't on an RFA deal, would for sure be making a lot more money. Pavelski obviously is taking a pay cut. So there's already kind of that status quo set by this team that we're leaving room so that we can make a good hockey team. So I hope so, but I'm not going to count on someone giving up millions and millions of dollars because I don't know if I would be able to do that, you know?
Now, the one last thing I want to discuss is the Thomas Harley extension. He's going to get paid, especially if he continues this upward trajectory that he's got. I mean, he was playing a number 1 defenseman role, and he's making less than $1 million right now. He's still on his entry-level deal. So
your RFA status and the fact that he's only had 1 full NHL season is going to help you a lot there. But yeah, he's going to get paid a good bit more. I'd say he's probably around 3.
I was thinking
$3 million.
Yeah, he's an RFA. Y'all remember what we were saying about Jason Robertson? We're saying 9. He signed for 7. So yeah,
well, we gave everything we could too. It's like 7.85, whatever.
I honestly think that's a low ball, guys. I really do.
Because he's an RFA. He has no negotiating rights.
Okay, well, we saw the same thing with a guy named Jake Sanderson up in Ottawa, and I looked at that and I was just like, oh, he's gonna get, and he was doing well. He's only had 1 season, like 1 real good season under his belt, and he got what, $8 million?
Yeah,
right?
That deal sucks.
The GM of that team?
Exactly. Yeah. What kind of deals has Jim Nill done? Some much better ones. Yeah.
Right. But I'm saying, I'm not saying he's gonna get $8 million, but what I'm saying is 3.5. That's not gonna get the deal done. There's no
bridge deal. Yeah, I will. You remember what Roope Hintz made in his bridge deal? Nickels.
Made next to nothing.
I think he at least gets 5. That's just me.
And I'll prove you wrong later, but
I feel like it's going to be hard for him to get that much when you look at the other players on the team. I mean, this team, we do value offense, but a lot of our cap is tied up in Ben and Sagan right now, who are not doing as good as their contracts say they should be doing. But
I would say Sagan's doing well enough to justify that
making $9.5 million, Ryan.
Not even.
Rantanen's not making $5.5 million.
He makes almost $2 million more than Jason Robertson.
Yeah.
So
he's doing better. Yes, he is.
He is doing better for what he should be doing. He is doing spectacular.
And him and Ben are getting paid for what they did as well. They are not just getting paid for. I mean, we have an Art Ross Trophy winner. So yeah.
It's an old school contract, not the way that they're paying guys nowadays, which is what they are probably going to do, I guess is what you could say. Like Jake Sanderson.
Yeah, Jake Sanderson. Great player.
Okay, sorry. Anyway, I did not mean for that to take this long.
On a great team.
Great team.
Shut up, both of you. Y'all are really making me feel bad. I'm just gonna sulk here.
I'm coming after you for the money stuff. All right. Anyway,
you coming after me? You already did.
Pizza. We're gonna talk about. I don't know how we haven't done this, but we're gonna do our top 3 most favoritist pizza toppings. So we didn't really discuss criteria. I guess that wasn't mentioned in the Google Doc that we wrote 3 years ago, lining out all the Who Cares segments. So. Pizza toppings. Ryan, go.
Before we get into this, though, if you have any other Who Cares segment options for us, any suggestions, go to our Discord server, join the Discord, and there is a channel there that you can leave us your ideas, and we might take your idea, because our document that we made 3 years ago is getting really small on ideas of what we should be doing. We totally do not just discuss this right before we get live here. So
we only have 2 years left on our Who Cares segment, so... I agree with Ryan. We need to get that going. Pizza toppings, Ryan.
Okay. Anyways, my favorite pizza topping I'm just gonna go classic here just to get it out of the way, is just straight up pepperoni. Pepperoni is the best. It's my classic. I got 2 other ones that I like more, but
he just said it was his favorite.
I don't understand. I don't think he knows how this works.
I don't think he knows how numbers work.
No, it's my favorite because it is like
And why isn't it your number 1?
Because my number 1 is from a specific place, so that's why. But it'll make sense here in a second. Okay.
Doesn't make sense. James, number 3.
My number 3 is bacon. Bacon is yummy and tasty on pizza. And if you cook it right, the bacon is still crispy and you get a little crunch while you're eating it. It's great.
James does have a little bit of an expert experience here. He did work at the Domino's, the fine pizza establishment.
If you throw bacon on it, it was always better. Always.
I don't know. I wasn't a fan of the bacon. I feel like when you put bacon on it, all you can taste is bacon, which I guess isn't terrible, but just buy
what
bacon.
Are you complaining for?
Fair enough. And I'm going to get righteously grilled for this upcoming pizza topping because I kind of fully agree that it's not good, but
I'm you're choosing it as your number 3.
I'm gonna do it anyway.
I don't make any sense.
That's fair. Touche. Number 3, green bell peppers. I like them. I don't know why. They just add a little bit of freshness, a little bit of bitterness, a little bit of crunchy crunch. I don't ever really do it on their own, but
no, it's got to be with something else. Don't do bell peppers by themselves. That's awful.
That's why I tell my number 3, because it's like you wouldn't ever just do bell peppers, like. But
you like it with other stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, like multiple other things.
Bell pepper. Right.
This is my turn. My number 2.
Yeah, this is your second favorite pizza topping. If we need to be more clear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Mine is kind of like yours. Like I wouldn't eat it by itself, like on the pizza, but if it's got other stuff with it, I really enjoy it. And that's jalapenos. I love jalapenos on my pizzas, especially with pepperoni. So pepperoni jalapeno pizza. Oh my gosh, it is, and it's hard to go wrong. Like you could do it from any fine pizza establishment like Domino's or Pizza Hut or whatever, and it is always really, really good. I love pepperoni jalapeno.
James, I'm gonna jump you here because I agree with Ryan. Jalapeno is my number 2 as well. It is delicious.
You shouldn't have jumped me.
You shouldn't
have jumped me. My number
It's the
second.
first time ever.
Go.
It's the first time ever. A triple. Boom.
Jalapenos are spectacular on pizza. Ryan's wrong. They could totally be by themselves.
We need
and
a
it works.
plaque.
No,
Ryan, it
can.
totally works.
It
You
can.
have not. If you have not had it by itself, it works.
We need a plaque. The
It
first
is
ever triple on a Who Cares segment. Ooh, baby, a triple.
And it's
All
not
right.
even in the number 1. It's not even the number 1. It's the number 2. We all had it as our number 2.
And the number 1 would have been a triple as well if it wasn't for you, Ryan. Ryan, what's your number 1?
My number 1 is, and some people, you're both gonna make fun of me for it, and so are a bunch of other people. But honestly, I don't care. So we had All Region Band here a couple weekends ago, and we were trying to figure out a place. Shut up! You always tell stories, so it's my turn. Yes, I went to CC's, and you know what I got at CC's?
How did I know?
You know what I got at CC's, James?
What you got at CC's?
What did I get at CC's?
What
You tell me.
Did you get the macaroni pizza, Ryan?
Oh, I like the
Or am I
macaroni pizza,
wrong?
but no, it's better, way better than that.
Close.
It's the buffalo chicken pizza. The cheap buffalo chicken pizza from CC's is my number 1. And Amato's like, oh no.
That's
it is the
That's
best
2
thing
different
ever.
toppings,
That
by
is
the way,
several
Ryan. I just wanted to
toppings,
point that out.
I would say
Buffalo sauce and chicken are 2 different things.
those are 2 different things.
Okay, fine. Buffalo sauce. So is
Just
that
buffalo
fine?
sauce is your
Well,
number
he's gotta
1
choose
You
topping?
got me on a technicality, okay? Whatever.
Your number 1 topping
I thought
is
pizza
buffalo
toppings,
sauce.
but like by themselves, it's weird. You can't have buffalo sauce by itself. You can't have chicken by itself on a pizza. It's weird. But if you have
can't
them
have chicken
both
by itself on a
together,
pizza.
if you have them both
It's not very
together, it's
And-
really good.
And my guy picked buffalo. Ryan's favorite pizza topping is buffalo sauce. Everyone buying buffalo sauce pizzas from now
Y'all
on.
are the ones complaining about the fact that it was
James,
2 different things.
number
Okay.
first.
Okay,
just-
my number first is a personal number first. My number first is cheese. And I'm not talking about normal cheese. I'm talking about literally adding cheese as a topping. Extra cheese pizza is my favorite thing in the entire universe. I don't know why I like it so much, but cheese as my extra topping is my favorite thing.
Okay,
by
but
far.
that is like very there's so much that you could choose from from cheese. So you have to have like a specific cheese.
No,
You saying
you
whatever
get
the main
extra cheese.
is.
The main cheese, you get extra cheese on top of it.
And that's fair. I think
So
that's
whether
a
it's
good
mozzarella or cheddar or whatever,
It's
or,
almost always
it-
mozzarella, Ryan. I don't know
You
what
put cheddar on
pizza
your
place
pizza?
uses cheddar on their
That
pizza.
sounds
Like
disgusting.
an absolute maniac. Who would do that?
there are places that do
That's a
that.
very
You're-
vanilla
well, they're
choice,
wrong.
James. That's like liking
Well,
vanilla
sorry,
ice
that
cream
is-
as your favorite.
That
which
is
my
by
favorite ice
far
cream.
my favorite thing in the entire world. Multiple times after work at Domino's, I would make me a double cheese pizza. It was just the best thing ever. I just eat that whole thing.
All right. I'm going to close it down with the lame and correct answer. The number 1 pizza topping is pepperoni. Good night, everybody.
All right.
We had such an amazing number 2, and then all of our number 1s are just kind of letdowns after that. But I mean, I thought it was good. I thought it was okay, right?
Buffalo sauce.
Oh my gosh. Still on that. You can't have it separate. It's weird.
So what we've learned from the Who Cares segment is that jalapenos are actually the best topping on a pizza because we all had it in our top
Can we all
3.
agree
Well,
that
It was
that
we
all
that's
also
the
separate.
number
learned
1?
that Ryan doesn't know how rankings work because he put his favorite as number 3, and he doesn't know that
When I
buffalo
say it's
chicken
my
is 2 different
favorite,
toppings.
when I say
That's
it's my
really
favorite,
3.
I can get pepperoni
You could
anywhere.
say it's 3.
I can get pepperoni anywhere, so that therefore
then
it's
some
my
might
favorite.
call
That's
that
what
a
I'm more
go-to.
eat.
Instead of a favorite.
Oh my gosh, y'all are so
He's
stupid.
right.
Y'all are so stupid.
Well, come back to Sarcastic Remarks on next Tuesday, I guess. That's in a while. See you then, everybody.
Chris, you're
Is
so
that it?
weird.
Are we done?
No, we're not done.
Oh.
Oh my word. I thought that was the end, Ryan.
Check
You've
out
made this the
DraftKings,
most
promo code
awkward exit ever.
THPN. Check out the website, sarcasticremarks.com. Check out the shop, sarcasticremarksshop.com. You get there on the main website, too. A little sneak peek for y'all there. You can find our new episodes on the website. You can find them wherever else you get your little pity podcasts. Leave us little reviews. Give us good ones, please. I mean, you can give us bad ones, but it might make us cry. And I think that's it.
Go and check out Spits and Suds, the Peverly interview. It's really cool. Seriously, go and listen to it. Along with James, along with Chris, my name's Ryan. That was a really awkward ending. Well, I hope you guys have a good, fantastic morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you guys are listening. See y'all later. Bye.
Bye.